Listen to me carefully. Life will teach you this lesson whether you're ready or not. One day, you'll look around and realize the people who smiled with you, who cheered for you, who said, "I've got your back," they're nowhere to be found when you fall. That's when it hits you. No one is your friend, not truly. People love you when you're useful. They love your shine until it blinds them. They clap for you until your success threatens their comfort. Then they switch, just like that. You must learn to stand alone. The world is full of masks. People pretend loyalty, but deep down, they're jealous, they're insecure, they want what you have. You must stop expecting love from people who can't even love themselves. Be careful who you trust, because every smile hides a motive. Every handshake hides a plan. Protect your vision, protect your mind, and protect your heart. The only person who's truly on your side is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Build yourself into someone so strong. Betrayal becomes just background noise. People talk too much, and most of it means nothing. The world is filled with smooth talkers, charmers, and fake supporters who know exactly what to say, but never mean a single word. I'll always be there for you. You can count on me. I've got your back. These lines sound beautiful, but they are empty echoes when reality hits. Words are cheap. Words cost nothing. Anyone can say them, but actions reveal everything. When life punches you in the face, when you're broke, when you failed, when your dreams seem impossible, that's when you see who's real and who's just pretending. Most people vanish the moment you stop being useful to them. The truth is hard to swallow, but it will set you free. Stop believing in promises and start observing behavior. Watch what people do when you need them most. You'll learn more about someone in your darkest hour than in years of friendship. People will talk loyalty, but won't even lift a finger. Watch. And it matters. They'll say they care, but their silence during your pain screams louder than their words ever could. You need to stop confusing talking with caring. Real care is shown in presence, in effort, in sacrifice. When someone truly values you, they show up no matter what. They don't need to say it every day. Their consistency, their reliability, their loyalty speak for them. You'll notice they don't need attention or applause. They just act quietly without asking for credit. That's real. That's rare, but it's also the reason you must stop trusting easily. The world teaches you that most people are actors, skilled at pretending, but empty at delivering. You have to become someone who sees beyond words, someone who studies patterns, someone who reads energy. People's true selves always show in what they do, not what they say. When you start watching actions, you stop getting disappointed. You stop expecting too much. You stop getting hurt by fake promises. It's not about being cold, it's about being smart. You must protect your peace by filtering who gets access to you. If someone constantly talks about helping you but never does, if they talk about loyalty but gossip behind your back, if they talk about growth but never move, cut them off. They are noise, and noise kills focus. You have dreams to chase, goals to conquer, and a life to build. You don't have time for people who only talk. Surround yourself with doers, people who move in silence, people who execute. They may not talk much, but when they act, everything changes. Life becomes easier when you stop demanding loyalty from the wrong ones and start investing that energy into yourself. Because the harsh truth is this: sometimes even family, even childhood friends, even partners will fail this test. Don't hate them, just learn. Every disappointment is a revelation. Every betrayal is a reminder. Every fake friend is a lesson that words are wind and only actions are solid ground. The moment you stop chasing validation and start trusting what you see, you take back your power. You start building strength from within. You stop waiting for someone to believe in you because you realize you've got all you need. You become unshakable. Remember, a real one doesn't need to tell you they're real. They just prove it when you least expect it. And those who talk too much about loyalty usually don't have any. So be still, observe, listen less to words and more to consistency. Consistency never lies. A loyal person will show the same respect in your absence as in your presence. A fake one will smile to your face and poison your name the second you turn away. Your job is to watch, not to beg, not to explain, just to watch. Protect yourself by trusting patterns over promises, actions over apologies, results over reasons, because in the end, life doesn't reward what people say. It rewards what people do. And when you master that mindset, no betrayal can break you, no lie can fool you, and no disappointment can stop you. You will rise, not because people kept their promises, but because you learned to keep your focus. Trust actions, not words, and you'll never lose yourself again. Hebrew, loyalty is not loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need attention, and it doesn't need applause. Loyalty moves quietly. It's proven when no one is watching, when there's nothing to gain, when standing by someone costs you something. People often talk about loyalty like it's a trend, like it's something to post about. But real loyalty has no audience. It's not shown in public. It's tested in private. The truth is, most people are loyal only when it benefits them. They'll stand beside you when life is easy, when your name shines, when you're winning. But the moment storms come, they disappear, or worse, they switch sides. Real loyalty is rare because it requires integrity, and integrity is not convenient. It means staying true even when no one notices. It means defending someone. Knee when they're not around, even when silence would be easier. It's about keeping promises made in confidence, about refusing to gossip, about protecting someone's name when it's being dragged through the mud. Loyalty doesn't need witnesses because the real test happens in silence. You know who's loyal to you by how they speak of you when you're not in the room. Pay attention to the quiet moments, the things you never hear about, the situations you didn't even know were happening. A loyal person will protect you in conversations you're not a part of. They won't seek validation by exposing your weaknesses. They won't trade your trust for social points. They'll keep your secrets, not because it benefits them, but because they respect you enough to guard your truth. That's what silence is. Respect in its purest form. Hebrew. In this world of loud noise and fake loyalty, silence is power. Fake loyalty shouts. It constantly needs to say, I'm loyal, I'm real, I've got your back. Real loyalty never needs to say it. It's simply proven through consistency. You'll notice that truly loyal people don't have to remind you they're there. You just feel it. You can sense their presence, even in absence. They don't run their mouths. They show up. They don't defend you with tweets or posts. They defend you with character. The reason loyalty in silence is so powerful is because it's rooted in strength, not performance. Anyone can act loyal when eyes are on them, but it takes strength to stay true when no one will ever know. It's easy to be supportive when everyone else is. It's easy to be loyal when it costs nothing. But loyalty in silence means being real when no one will thank you, no one will see it, and no one will reward you. It means choosing integrity over popularity, truth over comfort, character over clout. That kind of loyalty builds unshakable bonds because when you know someone has defended your name in your absence, you respect them differently. You trust them deeply. You know they're not pretending because their loyalty was proven when you weren't there to witness it. On the other hand, when people talk about loyalty too much, they're often the first ones to break it. They use loyalty like a mask, loud in speech, empty in action. And when you start to see that pattern, you'll understand that silence is not distance. Sometimes the quiet ones are the most loyal, and the loudest ones are the first to betray. Be very careful with people who publicly claim loyalty but privately act otherwise. True loyalty doesn't need to prove itself with words. It proves itself with discipline. A loyal person doesn't join every conversation. They walk away from ones that go against you. They don't have to agree with everything you do, but they'll never let anyone disrespect you. That's what loyalty in silence really is. The invisible protection that comes from genuine respect. You must also learn to practice that kind of loyalty yourself. Be loyal in silence, Ev. And when you're angry, even when you feel hurt, never expose someone's secrets just because they disappointed you. Never betray trust just to make yourself look better. That says more about your weakness than their failure. Loyalty is not tested when you're happy with someone. It's tested when you're not. How you treat people after the bond breaks shows your true character. In the end, loyalty in silence is about maturity. It's about knowing when to speak and when to protect. It's about valuing truth more than gossip. It's about choosing peace over drama. You don't need to scream your loyalty to prove it. Let your actions speak quietly, because silence doesn't mean indifference. It means dignity. When people realize that you're loyal without the need for validation, they'll respect you differently. You'll become rare, the kind of person everyone wants in their corner, but few deserve. Because in a world where everyone talks, those who act in silence stand above the rest. Remember, words fade, attention shifts, crowds disappear, but loyalty proven in silence that echoes forever. There comes a point in life where you have to walk alone. Not because you hate people, not because you've lost faith in the world, but because solitude becomes your greatest teacher. Isolation isn't weakness, it's the birthplace of real strength. When you strip away the noise, the opinions, the distractions, and the fake support, what's left is you, raw, unfiltered, and real. That's where you start discovering who you truly are. Most people fear being alone because silence exposes them to themselves. It shows them their insecurities, their fears, their flaws. But that's exactly where transformation happens. The truth is, no one grows surrounded by constant comfort. Growth requires pain. Strength requires solitude. Isolation is the forge where the weak burn out and the strong are built. When you are alone, you start seeing life for what it really is. You stop pretending. You start understanding who's real and who's not. You realize how much energy you've wasted trying to please people who never cared. You understand that your journey is yours alone, and no one else can walk it for you. The loneliness that once scared you becomes your fuel. Because when the world goes quiet, you start hearing your inner voice, that powerful voice that tells you to keep going, to rise, to build, to fight. Isolation teaches you self-respect. It shows you that you don't need constant approval to feel worthy. You stop chasing validation and start chasing purpose. You learn to trust your instincts because no one else's opinion matters in that quiet space. People think success comes from connections or crowds, but the truth is success is born in solitude. Every great warrior, thinker, and leader has spent time alone. That's where focus sharpens. That's where discipline grows. That's where you stop being distracted by the noise of others and start hearing the call of your destiny. Isolation is not about cutting everyone off. It's about filtering your circle until only truth remains. It's about protecting your mind from negativity and your heart from betrayal. It's about saying, I don't need to be surrounded to feel strong. I don't need a crowd to know my worth. When you embrace isolation, you learn self-control. You stop reacting to every little thing. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand your vision. You become comfortable in silence, and that silence becomes your armor. People who fear solitude are often the ones who fear facing themselves. They need constant company because being alone reminds them of what they've been avoiding, their weaknesses, their regrets, their wasted potential. But when you face those parts of yourself and rise from them, no one can break you again. You become untouchable. Isolation also builds emotional resilience. When you go through dark times and no one helps, when you have to figure it all out by yourself, something inside you changes forever. You stop expecting rescue. You stop expecting understanding. You start moving regardless of who supports you. That's the moment you realize strength doesn't come from people. It comes from perseverance. The pain that used to break you becomes the fire that forges you. You start smiling at challenges because you've survived worse in silence. In solitude, you learn the difference between loneliness and peace. Loneliness is the fear of being without others. Peace is the power of being with yourself. When you find peace in isolation, you no longer crave validation. You no longer depend on anyone to keep you going. You become your own source of energy. You wake up for yourself. You grind for yourself. You improve for yourself. That's the real power, self-sufficiency. People who master solitude never beg for company, never chase approval, never crumble when left behind. They've built themselves in the dark so no light can blind them. Ibrahim, when the crowd disappears, the fake ones fade. When the noise stops, truth remains. That's why isolation is necessary. It filters out everything fake and reveals everything real. Your dreams will demand isolation. Your goals will require sacrifice. There will be nights when you'll question everything, days when you'll feel like giving up, but those moments are your tests. Every second you survive alone makes you stronger than you were yesterday. You won't notice the growth immediately, but one day you'll look back and realize that period of isolation was your rebirth. Remember this, no one becomes powerful surrounded by comfort. You have to break away to build up. You have to walk alone to discover your direction. You have to embrace silence to understand your strength. The world will only see your success. They'll never understand the lonely battles that created it. So don't fear isolation. Use it. Let it harden your spirit, sharpen your focus, and purify your circle. Because when you leave our end to stand alone, you'll never fall again. Isolation builds real strength, the kind that no one can take away, the kind that lives inside you forever. Never depend emotionally on anyone, because the moment you do, you hand them the power to control your peace. The harsh truth is people change, feelings fade, Promises break. The person who swore they'd never hurt you might be the first to leave when things get hard. That's not bitterness. That's reality. Emotional dependency is the fastest way to destroy your strength. You start tying your happiness to someone else's mood, your confidence to their approval, your stability to their presence. And when they pull away, even slightly, your entire world collapses. That's not love. That's weakness disguised as connection. Real love, real strength comes from knowing that even if everyone walks away, you'll still be fine. Depending emotionally on others means you've forgotten your own power. You've forgotten that your heart belongs to you, that your peace is your responsibility. When you give someone else control over your emotions, you're no longer living for yourself. You're living for their attention. You wait for their text to feel validated. You crave their words to feel worthy. You let their silence break you. That's how people lose themselves, by putting their emotional well-being in someone else's hands. No one, no matter how close, deserves that much power over your peace. You have to build yourself into someone who feels deeply but stands firmly. Love people, care for them, support them, but never depend on them to complete you. Because emotional dependence doesn't make you connected. It makes you vulnerable in the wrong way. It's like standing on shaky ground, expecting someone else to hold you steady. But what happens when they're gone? What happens when they fail? As humans inevitably do. You collapse because you never learn to hold yourself up. That's why emotional independence is freedom. It's the ability to love without losing yourself, to give without expecting, to care without collapsing. When you stop depending emotionally on others, you stop living in fear. You stop fearing rejection, abandonment, and betrayal because your peace doesn't rely on them anymore. You become self-contained, whole, unshakable. People come and go, but you remain. Their absence doesn't destroy you because you've learned that the only constant in your life is you. The world teaches dependency early. Movies romanticize it. Songs glorify it. People confuse it with loyalty. They'll tell you, you can't live without someone, but that's a lie. You can't. You must. Because if you can't, you're not in love. You're enslaved by emotion. Emotional strength doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you learn to master your feelings. You learn to observe pain without letting it consume you. You understand that heartbreak isn't the end. It's a test of your emotional discipline. Most people run from solitude because they've never learned how to sit with themselves. They jump from person to person, hoping someone else will fill the emptiness. But that emptiness can't be filled externally. It can only be healed from within. When you depend emotionally on others, you're giving them the key to your mental stability. The day they walk away, you lose control. But when your emotions are built on self-respect, no departure can destroy your balance. Either learn to be your own source of comfort, learn to calm yourself when you're anxious, to motivate yourself when you're low, to love yourself when you feel unworthy. Because when you master that, no one can manipulate you. No one can control you with affection or punish you with distance. Emotional independence makes you powerful because it removes leverage from everyone else. You no longer beg for attention, chase validation, or cling to temporary people. You start choosing connections from strength, not from need. That's when relationships beck. Own pure, not attachments, but partnerships. A birth. It takes time to build that kind of inner strength. You'll have to unlearn patterns, detach from dependency, and face your loneliness head on. It will hurt at first. You'll crave the comfort of someone else's presence. You'll miss the illusion of safety that dependency gives. But if you stay strong, something beautiful happens. You start to feel whole. You stop waiting for someone to complete you because you realize you were never incomplete. You start enjoying your own company. You start seeing love as an addition to your life, not the foundation of it. Remember this. Emotional independence doesn't mean being cold or heartless. It means loving with freedom, not fear. It means choosing to share your happiness, not giving it away. It means knowing that even if everything falls apart, you'll still stand tall. The strongest people are not those who never feel pain. They're the ones who've learned not to let anyone else control it. Never depend emotionally on anyone, because the only person who will be with you from your first breath to your last is you. Protect your peace, master your emotions, build yourself so strong that love becomes a choice, not a need. Then no loss can break you and no rejection can define you. Protect your energy at all costs because your energy is your life force. It's the invisible current that drives your focus, your mood, your ambition, and your destiny. When your energy is drained, everything around you starts to crumble. Your dreams fade, your motivation dies, and your spirit weakens. That's why the world constantly tries to pull it from you. Through fake people, constant noise, endless distractions, and emotional leeches who feed on your kindness. If you don't protect your energy, you'll spend your life pouring into others until there's nothing left for yourself. And here's the truth most people don't want to face. Not everyone deserves your time, your effort, or your presence. Some people don't come into your life to build, they come to drain. They see your light and want to use it for their benefit. They smile in your face, but secretly envy your peace, your drive, your confidence. You must learn to recognize that energy doesn't lie. Words might deceive you, but energy never will. You can feel it when something is off. You can sense when someone's vibe doesn't match their intentions. Don't ignore that instinct. It's your soul warning you to step back. Protecting your energy means setting boundaries, even if it offends people. Weak boundaries invite chaos. When you keep allowing everyone access to you, you become emotionally exhausted. People will dump their problems on you, take your time for granted, and give nothing in return. You must stop being available to everyone. You are not obligated to entertain negativity, to fix everyone's issues, or to keep relationships that drain you. Sometimes protecting your peace means walking away quietly. You don't need to argue, explain, or justify your distance. Just step back and let your silence speak for you. Energy is precious. Don't waste it on things that don't elevate you. When you start valuing your energy, you begin to see how much power you've given away before. You'll notice how many conversations left you feeling heavy, how many friendships kept you stuck, how many habits kept you tired. Protecting your energy means becoming intentional about where your focus goes. Stop scrolling through negativity. Stop surrounding yourself with complainers. Stop feeding your mind with things that make you doubt your worth. Every thought, every interaction, every environment either charges you or drains you. Choose wisely. There's strength in solitude when used right. Being alone doesn't mean you're isolated. It means you're filtering. It means you're protecting your space from energies that don't align with your purpose. People will call you distant, cold, or selfish, but that's because they benefit from your lack of boundaries. You owe no one your constant availability. You owe yourself your peace. The most powerful people in the world guard their energy like treasure because they understand it fuels everything. Your creativity, your decisions, your resilience. Protecting your energy also means protecting your thoughts. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. You can't stop negativity from knocking on your door, but you can choose not to invite it in. Don't let anger, jealousy, or doubt take space in your mind. When your mind is calm, your energy flows freely. But when you let chaos in, it clouds your vision. That's why stillness, meditation, or simply disconnecting from the noise is necessary. You recharge in silence. You rebuild in solitude. You return stronger when you rest your spirit. Be mindful of who you share your energy with. Some people feed your soul, others feed off it. Learn the difference. People with